Hi everybody, and welcome to today's presentation where we are proud to present Inderes. To help us through, we are joined by CEO Michael Rautunen. Welcome to Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
And first time on HDA, so besides the numbers which you released this morning, fresh off the press, Q&A numbers, I think we will dig a little bit deeper into the many diversified business areas you have when we go through the numbers and when you describe them. But let's go that. And for full disclosure, we of course need to see that we have a partnership with you and you own 20% of HC Andersen Capital. But for now, Michael, I think I will hand the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Michael. And welcome everyone on my behalf as well. Great to have our business review in English for the first time, and particularly interesting and excited to have this together with you, HCA, our Danish friends and our strategic partner.
Thank you.
So yeah, we have 1 year behind us as a publicly traded company. And after that, many things on the market have happened, but also many things have happened within Inderes. So let's take a deep dive on what's happening. I will immediately jump to slide number 3 to give a little introduction to Inderes and what we do. So our business model is to be the platform between listed companies and the investor community. We connect companies and investors together and then facilitate information flow between the two. So for investors, we are building this digital service through which they can access high quality information about interesting listed companies. We want to help our community to become better investors, long-term investors, and to educate them to understand listed companies better. Majority of our revenue comes from the listed company side of the platform. And for the listed companies, we are building an end-to-end service portfolio through which the listed company can do really high quality investor relations. So the service portfolio in a nutshell includes commissioned research, which is one of our biggest businesses. We do outsourced investor relations. We do investor websites. We do these quarterly events and investor calls, investor webcasts, capital markets days, AGMs and virtual AGMs. Basically for a small to mid-sized company, they can buy the whole investor relations package, one-stop shop from us. And through that, they can serve their owners and investors in a digital way, in a democratic way, and so that their owners are happy and have the transparent information to the company's performance all the time. Our strategy is simple. So we built the listed company customer base, and then we built the investor community, and between them we are our great team of almost 100 people. We built those solutions that help the information flow between the two. So we built solutions that help both investors and both companies. Our purpose is to democratize information in the financial markets. So through this platform model, we have been able to bring these services to be available for all listed companies, whether you're small or big, and to all investors, whether you're a beginner retail investor or a portfolio manager. And this has been a really successful model in Finland. Almost all of the Finnish listed companies are our clients today. 190 companies. Out of those, around 180 are Finnish companies. So most of them use at least one of our 5 to 6 main service areas. We have 75,000 active community members. So those users that have subscribed to our platforms and are active users. So that is on a Finland scale really, really big. So now we have set up this ecosystem and platform, and it's been really successful in Finland. And of course, for us, it's really natural to start looking beyond Finland at this point. So now going into our Q3 numbers. So we had a pretty okay quarter. The first half for us was a bit more challenging, especially the first quarter. The second quarter was a bit better, and now the third quarter was quite okay given the market environment. So what was particularly good was the growth of recurring revenue, 30% on project revenue. It's a bit more sluggish, only 1% growth. There the market situation is affecting us a bit. Profitability on third quarter was at a good level. There's a seasonality factor. Third quarter is usually the best for us in a seasonal sense. So third quarter, okay numbers, but we still on September 26th we had to lower our guidance, unfortunately. So what has happened is that after we IPO'd, we started a lot of growth investments, and after that we had a big tailwind in the market. Things were looking good. Then the market turned quite different, and that's why we had to lower our guidance. Now we have made most of those growth investments that we need. We have recruited a lot of people on fourth quarter and first quarter and also in second quarter. Now we have made most of those investments, and now it's more about ensuring that we stay on a growth path and also keep this business healthy and profitable going forward. At the same time, we are not giving up on our long-term investments to make this company international. And part of that, one big event recently has been our launch of Inderes.dk together with HC in Denmark. So that's a big milestone for us on our path to make this a Nordic company. One thing I also want to highlight on this quarter is the share of recurring revenue, 65%. So we are building a more recurring type of business model. That's our ambition in the long run. Okay, yeah. Then if we move on to our business areas, so we have three key business areas: research services. Then we have virtual events, and then we have IR solutions. Those are the three key business areas that we have. If we jump first into research services, the majority of revenue here comes from commission research services. Here our number of clients grew by 17%, despite all the IPOs being frozen in Finland and so on, and also some of our companies are being our clients are being acquired. So despite that, we still keep growing here. And what is good that now that there's a big number of clients in, that gives us visibility into growth going forward the next 12 months. So this is a really this is on a really solid basis, this business area. Then we are also running a lot of investor events. One big event here in Helsinki, together with the local biggest business media, Alma Talent, and we are also doing the first jointly events with HC Andersen Capital. So bringing together interesting Finnish and Danish companies. Then on the community side, our investor community has remained healthy and active, but the growth of our active community user has basically flattened out because investing is not as exciting as it used to be last year.
No, more fun in up markets, I know.
Yeah, it's no longer renta por renta and so on. But still, we're pushing forward. The core community is super active, having huge amounts of discussion in Inderes forum, having good dialogue, good spirit, and so on. So research business, this is one of our kind of like strongest and biggest business areas, growing and very profitable. Then virtual events, which is done by our subsidiary company Flick. So here we more than doubled this business during Corona. So this was a clear Corona winner, this business area. And we had 2 huge boom years, very strong growth, very strong profitability. And now I must admit that we are having a bit of a COVID hangover in this business area, but we're still pushing forward. So this year we had a really weak first quarter. Now we are back on a slight growth track. Our business here is growing healthy on the listed company client sector. Then we have some customers also outside the listed company sector, and that is client sector that has been declining quite significantly this year, and that's the key reason why this business has not performed that well this year. Also, last year we had a lot of big capital markets day events that we produced, and a lot of IPO events that not that much this year, or many of them have been pushed to next year, which also affects. But majority of this business today comes from quarterly events, so producing the quarterly earnings calls and webcasts for around 100 Finnish companies, and also for many Swedish companies. So that's kind of like recurring quarter after quarter. And then AGMs, producing the AGM events has been also a big driver for growth in this business area. So this is one of our biggest businesses in addition to the commissioned research. It has been growing really fast, but this year is a bit of a COVID hangover year, but still.
And maybe a question here, Michael. Looking into next year, are you through the hangover? If you understand what I mean, you know, are you seeing a more normalized, you know, no longer a drag from maybe the COVID-19 hangover? Looking into 23, which we of course all are interested in.
Yes, I would say yes, we are over that hangover. If the economy doesn't collapse, then we will be through this hangover. But of course, if the economy gets dramatically weaker than it is today, then probably companies might be cutting down on instead of doing a big fancy capital markets day event, they do not so fancy events. So squeezing those events into smaller scale. That's one risk. But also next year, we are seeing that many companies are switching into doing bigger hybrid AGM events, which will bring also a new business to this area.
Yeah, you make the hybrid, right? It can be for a live audience, and then you do make the TV production of you might say the digital part of the event.
Yes, from that I can actually jump to IR solutions. So this is the technology part of our business. It's where most of our like software development side is in. So around 15 software developers. And here actually already last month we did the first ever hybrid AGM event in Finland. So the shareholders could join with all the voting rights through their browser, or they could join to the physical event and use all the shareholder rights equally, no matter where you are. And that's what we see as one big driver going forward. This was also the virtual AGM side was a business opportunity that we saw during COVID. Our team was extremely quick in kind of like reacting to these market change and solving those customer problems during lockdown periods. How can they do their AGMs during lockdowns? And we were really fast in developing solutions for our clients on this space. And that's why in only 2 years we reached 50% market share in AGMs in Finland. And that's been an incredible job from the team. And now that we have the 50% market share, we have a very good client base, very loyal clients. That of course gives us a very good position going into next year, when these AGM events will be going more into physical and hybrid events, because we can do the whole end-to-end event production, including the event production, the webcast streaming, and also the software for the voting and registration and stuff like that. So that's a really competitive solution here in Finland.
And you're feeling they are not going to go back to only doing it physical, right? It will be a combination in the future, right? Is that also your feeling?
There will be companies that do only the physical, but we also have a solution for that. So instead of printing out those voting slippers, they can take our mobile application and do the voting through that one. So it's kind of like digitalizing the physical event. That's one part that we can also do.
Yeah.
And then if they want to just have a webcast without voting rights for the online audience, we can do that one. If they want to do hybrid, we can do that. If they want to go fully virtual, we have solution for that. So that's the service package. We're going to see all of those three HCM versions in Finland next year. I hope that hybrid will become mainstream, because hybrid is, of course, the best for the shareholders. Rights, kind of like, yeah. But HCM on this business area, here we are investing a lot on the software side. HCMs is one area. In addition, we do the IR website solutions. We have invested in press release distribution system, and then webcasting software for investor events, so the video sync platform. Then on the investor side, we also are investing a lot on the Inderes platform. So we are building a completely new platform on which now Inderes.dk and Inderes.se are running. And next year we are also migrating Inderes.fi to this new platform. It's a huge project for the developer team, and that will kind of like improve our capabilities to like take this business to a Nordic level in the long run. One note on the webcast side is that we have invented during this quarter. We came to the market with a new solution for the teleconference solution. So in history, these teleconferences that are done in earnings calls of mainly big companies, it's operated by a human operator with really old technology, and many of these service providers are shutting down these services at the moment. And we have built a software-based solution to solve exactly the same problem. And this is a big change that is going on in the market on a Nordic level at the moment. And we have a solution for that. We can help our clients out there, and it's an interesting business opportunity as well. We have delivered this solution already to several blue chip companies, both in Finland and Sweden. So that's really interesting. Going into figures and outlook, I will run through these really quickly. If you want to go deeper into the numbers after the presentation, you can access these through our investor website. But here, just to highlight the recurring revenue growth, that was the positive note from this quarter. Then on the cost side, we are seeing that the majority of the increases in our OPEX, they were in Q4, Q1, Q2, and now it's evening out. We have now done most of the OPEX investments that we need to take forward our long-term growth plans.
Yeah, actually, that was also one of my questions. Are you have had focus, you have a target, either you want to grow or you want to be profitable. I don't know whether you can mention some of your aspiration targets, what you want to do every year, but this year it's a little bit off because you're investing into growth. But do you feel that's kind of leveling out? You are now invested into, to succeed in those new growths, going Nordic and so on.
Yeah, I would say that the resources of this organization are on a very good level, given the existing number of clients and the volume and future growth outlook and our plans, future plans regarding growth. So yes, we keep recruiting. We have a few positions here and there open, but it's not the same pace that we had a year ago, because we had clients coming in so much that we all the time needed to recruit new people just to meet the demand. So going to our outlook, that remains unchanged. It's the same that we had on the update on September 26th. So maybe there's the more detailed explanation about the backgrounds, but maybe I just jump in here to break this down into the drivers of our earnings. So last year we did EBITDA of 2.2 million. Why it's coming down this year? If I break it down into 4 business areas, we are not giving out our business area exact numbers to the market, at least at the moment, but just to give you the color on what is impacting. So out of the 4 drivers, we have only 1 positive and 3 negative drivers if we compare this year to last year. So the research business is, despite the market, it's growing and it's improving profitability. Then on the negative side, virtual events. There we are having the COVID hangover, as I said. So after a peak year, so that is taking down the profitability. Then on the IR solutions, those are investments that we decided to make after the IPO, and we stick with them. So long-term product development investments, that's one factor hurting our profitability. And then in Sweden, those are also investments that we decided to make going into this year, and we are sticking into them. So that's also taking our EBITDA down compared to last year. So hopefully going forward, of course, these drivers are likely to how would I say, we are aiming to have more positive profit drivers going forward. Then briefly on long term, so these are the market trends on which we base our long-term strategy. So I'm not speaking about this year. This is like decades going forward. We see the new investors are coming to the market. In the long run, we also see that IPO is becoming more relevant option for entrepreneurs, especially growth entrepreneurs. So we are seeing new companies coming to the market. And then once companies go public, I think the whole point is to be transparent and to serve your owners and investor community. And the most efficient way is to do that through digital channels. And we have the best tool for that. So that's how we built this for the long run. It's simple. We built the listed company client base. We built the investor community, and then we built the solutions that connect those two together. This is the evolution of our service portfolio and this company, how it's been for the past decade. So we started off with the commissioned research. We basically built that market ourselves in Finland because there was no commissioned research market before us. So we built that market. Then we increased the service offering by bringing in the investor relations webcasts to our service offering through acquisition of Flick. Then, like I said, during COVID, we brought in the virtual AGM solution. Then we expanded into investor relations software and advisory. We brought in very competitive package in IPOs. This year, we have also added ESG advisory to our business model. Flick has expanded into being more of a high-end virtual event provider. And I would say now our service portfolio is on such a mature level that we are ready to take this company outside Finland. We are mature enough to do that. We have demonstrated how this works in Finland. So we have good confidence that we can do this on a Nordic level, which is the next stage. But I want to remind, it's a long game. I have the saying, it takes a decade to become an overnight success, like Inderes did in Finland. So it took us a decade to build this in Finland. It will take a decade to build this on a Nordic level. But we are in no rush. We are a company that is really building this with a long-term mindset. And for that, we have our financial target, 30% to 50% combined revenue growth and EBITDA percentage, regardless of the cycle. So in bear market, we try to push forward to keep up the pace, and then when it's a positive cycle, we try to not grow too fast and keep this organization healthy. And then we have our infinite targets as well. So as a company, we are committed to always being great instead of big. So not to grow for the sake of growth. We want to be known for that we are great in what we do, not for that we are the biggest or the best in some area. We want people to know us that we are good. Rather lose business than slip from our values, and then to help our people to grow as professionals and individuals. And if we can stick to those infinite targets, this will be over time a successful company. Of that I'm sure. This is the historical outcome of those targets. So we've been outperforming year after year those targets. This year it looks that given our guidance, we're going to land below those targets. But of course, we aim to calibrate our pace so that going forward we will land to the 30 to 50% range. Yeah,
Perfect.
I think
should we? Perfect. Michael, one question. I also think, how do the IPO market look in Finland? In Denmark is kind of almost shut down. And how important is it for your future growth prospect looking into 2023? Can you grow this without a strong IPO market, which of course with your product offering, with the full package, will help your growth?
Yeah. That's a really good question, really relevant question. Can we grow without IPOs? Yes, because we have the 190 clients already, and most of those clients are buying only commissioned research or only virtual events for their quarterly earnings calls. So growing within those clients with our wider product portfolio is a growth opportunity in Finland. And then we have also Sweden coming in. Then with the IPOs, our own IPO was kind of like a product development project to build a service offering through which we can take small companies to First North list in an efficient way. And it was hugely successful operation. We have won during this year a lot of IPO projects together with our partners. So we are, by the way, it's good to mention that we are not the certified advisor or the corporate finance house for the IPOs. We only provide the investor relations, then we provide the commissioned research and the investor roadshow. So that's our IPO offering. But there we built together with our partners really competitive service offering. We won a lot of IPO projects that started this year, and now they are pushed to next year or somewhere in the future. Some of these projects we are seeing that are actually this fall. For example, one project has started aiming to IPO next year, and so on. So there is still some activity. Many of the entrepreneurs in Finland are really interested in IPOs, but of course, people are very cautious because of this market situation. But once the market turns, I think we might see a bit of a ketchup bottle effect in Finland, because going into this year there were a lot of like tens of companies coming in to go public in Finland, and then the market crashed, and now we are seeing that many of those projects are either cancelled altogether, but most of them are postponed to.
So most of them are postponed, not cancelled.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. So, with regards to how important business it is, the projects as such are not that important for our numbers. But with this new service offering, for example, we did Megacorp that listed during the spring. We did the full IPO, and once they were on the list, we have their commissioned research, we have their IR website, we have their outsourced IR. They did an AGM, hybrid AGM with us. They do their quarterly calls through our studios. So it's an end-to-end client for us if we get the full IPO projects, because we are the ones that built the whole IR infrastructure for the company. So it's for the long term, it's a really attractive case for us to get into these IPO companies.
And then, of course, a question we also meet, you do the commissioned research and you also do all the service for them, the Chinese store, as we call it in our world. How are you dealing with that? Is there any mistrust that it's hard for you to divide between those two business lines, and maybe talk a little bit about your commissions research? It's with a target price and a recommendation. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yes, we that's what people usually at first outside Finland think is weird, that we are giving recommendations to our paying clients, and many of those recommendations are reduce or sell, and that is a trust that we have earned from the investor community over the past decade. So in Finland, no one sees anymore anything fishy about commissioned research. It's the market standard, and the companies understand that if you subscribe to commissioned research, our analyst job is to help the investors to look for the fair value of the company. It's not about hyping the stock. And also the investors have learned to trust that, yes, this is really independent, unbiased research. And that trust we have built over the last decade, and we need to earn it day after day. So it's a working model, and then with the firewall, well, basically we are now on 9th floor of our building. The IR team is on 10th floor. Here on 9th floor are the analysts, and they have their own processes and so on. And that has not either been a problem, because we have really disciplined processes on how we work and how we handle the information.
Yeah, you have also been a fundamental analyst like me 12 years ago. You covered all the big Finnish companies. You know how important it is to put evaluation also on a company. That means you kind of need to identify what is this company, so you kind of can find the framework for doing that. So now I'm throwing it back at you. You have technology solutions, you have TV production, you have commissioned research. Are you an investment bank? Are you a platform? Are you a technology company? Which kind of multiple should I put on you, or should I use a diversified multiple?
I would say that one of the unique things about Inderes is that we are not trying to be we are not trying to fit into any existing market. We are building our own category, our own market, our own business. So I would say Inderes is a combination of professional services. It's technology platforms and software, and it's also a type of a media company. You cannot say that we are purely a professional services company, or purely a software company, or purely a media company, or purely an investment bank. I would say that's what we are least. The magic of Inderes is to combine all these three elements, and that's not actually really easy to combine the media aspect, the software side, and then the professional side. I think that's one of the key differentiating factors, and why this company has been so successful this far.
So that was the CEO answer to our analyst, that he needs to use different multiples.
Now you have to go and find the right peer group, right?
Yeah. I take that. Thank you, Michael. I think we went through the question, and thank you for the presentation of your half-year results, and looking forward to see you when you announce the full year results. Have a nice day to everybody.
Thank you.